I am working on what I find to be a very, very interesting case and a bit unusual for me. Although I do business litigation and this dispute does involve a business, it's not quite a business lawsuit. It's more of a civil rights issue, actually. But I feel very, very strongly about it, so I took on the case and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. So my clients are 60 out. They are a conglomerate of escape rooms in Los Angeles. They've got 7 locations and 23 escape rooms. They, of course, were shut down along with everybody else back in March, and they sat tight and waited. And when LA County started to, and the city of LA started to phase out the reopenings, they reopened. So what happened with my clients with these escape rooms is the Los Angeles County Health Department issued an order, and they had these categories. I'm sure everyone has heard of them. So essential business, non-essential low risk, and non-essential high risk. And there were a bunch of basically industries that made it into each one of these categories. However, there was not a catch-all category under which they would just outline provisions that a business would have to comply with in order to be able to reopen, regardless of what industry this business was in. So what happened with these escape rooms is that they didn't quite fit into any one of the categories. We've got on the non-essential low risk, we had like zoos and museums, presumably maybe something like that. I mean, it's not quite a museum because it's a little bit more interactive. Obviously not a zoo. Non-essential high risk, you've got family entertainment centers, right? So yes, sure, they entertain families, but underneath, when the SAP categories for the family entertainment centers were things like arcades and bowling alleys and movie theaters and Disneyland and things like that, which obviously they are not. And so they said, okay, well, we're probably more like a museum, and we're taking all these safety precautions. I mean, coming into our facility is probably less risky than coming into a dine-in restaurant or a hair salon, because we now only allow 6 people at a time. If our location has 3 escape rooms, we don't run them in tandem. Our employees don't interface with any of the people that come into our facility. Everything is completely touchless and digitized, and we have hand sanitizer, and we have masks, and everyone's required to wear these masks, and so on and so forth. So they reopened, and they operated for about maybe a little over a week when the LA County Public Health Department came and they shut them down. So they came to me and I said, okay, well, it sounds very unreasonable that all these other places, like shooting ranges, for example, that are indoors are open, and barbershops and nail salons and retail and malls. It just doesn't seem feasible that you guys have to be closed. It must be an oversight. I don't think that someone intentionally didn't include you. So why don't we just try to see if we can get up the chains in the Department of Public Health and talk to someone reasonable who can, perhaps make this adjustment. My journey to search for this reasonable person, which I never found, started with the health officer that issued the order. I called her. She didn't know anything about anything, which is really very scary that these are the people that are enforcing these orders. And mind you, this order said that if they violated it, they would have to pay fines. And it's also a misdemeanor, so they could go to jail. And there is no way to appeal the order. There is no administrative process. There's nobody to talk to. And there's, you can't tell your side of the story. So you just have to pretty much comply, and that's it. So I called her. That conversation did not prove fruitful at all. She referred me to 2 of her supervisors, and I called them, left voicemails and wrote emails, and they never called me back. So then I went up to the board of supervisors that are supposed to be overseeing the Department of Public Health, and I found, the top person there, and we wrote letters and we wrote emails, and nothing happened there either. So the last resort, obviously, was to file suit so that we could, at the very least, get someone's attention. So we filed a petition for a writ of mandamus and a writ of mandate. We're asking the court basically to issue an injunction ordering the people that we have sued, i.e. the state of California and the County of LA and the Department of Public Health, to do their job.